Welcome to Educate Together Secondary School's Junior Cycle History page. This short presentation will explore how Junior Cycle History is taught and assessed in Educate Together Secondary School Wicklow. The Junior Cycle specification is made up of three strands. Strand 1, the nature of history. Strand 2, the history of Ireland. And Strand 3, the history of Europe and the wider world. The History of Ireland strand includes topics like early Christian Ireland, plantations, and the changing experiences of women during the 20th century. And the Europe and the wider world strand includes topics like the colonisation by Portuguese and Spanish explorers in the 15th century, the Holocaust, and the impact of technological developments on historical change. The Nature of History strand aims to develop the skills of the historian in students by getting them to analyse and evaluate primary and secondary sources. For example, when students in Educate Together Secondary School Wicklow study the Great Famine, they examine this contemporary source from the middle of the 19th century. They are encouraged to ask questions about the source. Who are the people in the picture? Why do they look so terrified? What is in the centre of the picture? What can we learn about the Great Famine from the picture? And are sources like this one useful to historians investigating the Great Famine? By encouraging students to engage with historical sources like this one, we are not only teaching students in Educate Together Secondary School Wicklow about the past, the students are also developing their skills as young historians. The Black Death in Europe will be another topic that students will study, and again they will be encouraged to interrogate contemporary sources to further develop their understanding of this historical event. As part of the study of the Black Death, students will be invited to make comparisons between the catastrophic pandemic of the 14th century and the COVID-19 pandemic that has swept around the world in 2020. By making these connections between the past and the present, students can further their understanding of how our contemporary world is shaped by the past. By understanding these connections, students can further develop their historical empathy and recognise that human experience down the centuries is not that different from the experience of people in the modern day. Junior Cycle History provides very exciting opportunities when it comes to assessment, and two of the highlights of the course in this regard take place in second and third year. Students do their classroom-based assessments, or CBAs. The first CBA takes the form of a display and is an exploration of an historical event, personality or theme from local history. The statue of Billy Byrne holding his pike is a monument that we pass every day on the way to school. But have we ever paused to ask the questions, who was Billy Byrne? Where was he from? Why is there a statue of him outside Wicklow Jail? Would this be a topic that would interest a student for their second year CBA? Or would they choose to do a topic from sporting or social history? Or perhaps there's an interesting event from their family history that they'd like to study further. CBA 2 takes place in third year, and this takes the form of a written piece of work about a person of historical importance. Students can select a person of their choice from political or social or cultural history and so on. Let's take as an example the pioneering scientist Marie Curie. She could be a very interesting choice for further study for some students who could learn about how the Nobel Prize winning scientist changed the course of scientific history. Finally, students who study Junior Cycle History in Educate Together Secondary School Wicklow will not only learn about the important events and personalities of the past, but they will also learn to become critical thinkers who ask important questions about sources of information. a skill that is recognised as being essential for young people as they navigate their way through the complex world of the 21st century.